Hi, hello, welcome back to the class. Today, our new lesson is starting, and it is also in chapter 1, the evolution of computers. How the computers were invented and why the computers were invented, right? Okay. So, as I don't know whether you know or not, so can somebody tell me why the computers were invented? What is the purpose of inventing a computer? The computers were invented to do the calculations, to make mathematical calculations. Okay, that is the main reason. Okay, so is easy to work also. It is a kind of like it is not the reason why they have made the computer. Okay, it is not a reason, but the reason was to make the calculations easy, not the work, the calculations. For an example, the people used to do calculations using the stones, using the sticks, yeah, using their fingers. So they use these things to do the calculations. So when they were doing calculations using those things, they found it hard. Okay, they can miss some calculations. Okay, so maybe the calculation will be wrong. So these are some problems they have faced when they made calculations. So they decided to invent something to make the calculations easily, because calculation is a must for everyone, right? So everyone should do the calculations very accurately, isn't it? So if they want to do the calculations accurately and very fast, they should do something which can make the calculation easily, right? So we divide this computer evolution into two, like early computers and computer generations, right? So first of all, we will go with the evolution of the computer about the early computers, right? So how computers were created, if someone asks you how the computers were created, actually computers were invented on purpose of doing adding in mathematics, to add things, right? So first of all, or in the first place, they made the abacus to do these calculations. So who invented the abacus? If someone asks you, it is very easy. Abacus is made by Abacus. Okay, the person who found the abacus, his name also Abacus, and it was invented in China. He is a Chinese person, and around 5,000 years ago, that person invented this abacus. I think you have heard about the abacus, right? And still there are some classes conducted using these abacus, isn't it? So this is the first like manual manual thing which is created to do mathematical operations, and it is only the addition things, right? Perform addition of numbers only. So this is the first device which is operated manually by the human, was invented. So if someone asks you what was the first device invented to do the mathematical operations, that is the abacus, and it is old, old one, older than 5,000 years. After that, Blaise Pascal. Okay, after that, Blaise Pascal came out with a machine called adding machine. So this is the adding machine. In adding machine also, uh, the adding or the addition of numbers only we can do with using this adding machine. So Blaise Pascal invented the adding machine in 1642, and it was the world's first adding machine ever, but it was operated manually, by hand. Manually mean by hand, we operate it by hand, not connected to the electricity and we use it. No, this is also operated manually. So the first device was the abacus, After that, Blaise Pascal invented the adding machine, right? So for the examination, they might ask you who invented the adding machine or what is invented by Blaise Pascal, either this way or that way. So you should remember the name of the person and the machine which he invented, right? So first one abacus, second one adding machine by Blaise Pascal. After that, with this adding machine, Gottfried William made or he improved, okay, he improved the adding machine, like, and he added to it the multiplication and the addition for the adding machine. He improved the Blaise Pascal's adding machine. So Gottfried Wilhelm von Leibniz improved the machine which is invented by Pascal in 1674. Multiplication and addition were added as extra functions. So he added extra functions to the adding machine and improved the adding machine. So Blaise Pascal invented the adding machine, and Gottfried Wilhelm improved the adding machine, adding some extra functions like multiplication and addition. Then Joseph Mary Jacquard, he invented the mechanical loom. He is a French scientist. Joseph Marie is a French scientist. So he invented the mechanical loom. This is the mechanical loom. And he used punch card for output. He used punch card for output. Okay. So this is also operated by hand. They operate it by hand and they punch the card where the output is necessary. For an example, I input the card like this and I punch the needed answer. I am the one who is doing the output. Okay, right. After that, who is this? Charles Babbage. I hope everyone knows about Charles Babbage. He is the father of the computer, and yes, he made the analytical engine, and using the punch card, he made the output. He is called the father of the computer because the computers invented using his idea or using his analytical engine. So the base of the computer, how the computers were invented, looking at analytical engine, they invented the computers. That's why he is called as the father of the computer. And who is the father of the computer? Charles Babbage. Concept of input and output process. So this is input, output, and process. So he made the analytical engine using the punch card, and for his analytical engine he made a program. Okay, he made a program using a software engineer. So this is the first software engineer in the world. She is a lady. Her name is Madame Ada Augusta Lovelace. It is enough, Madame Ada Augusta or Ada Augusta, just remember this name. So Madame Ada Augusta, she is the first programmer means the software engineer. She tried to write programs for the analytical engine. So Charles Babbage invented the analytical engine using the punch card. So there is an output and an input. And also for the process, Ada Augusta or Lady Madame Ada Augusta tried to write programs for the analytical engine. So you shouldn't forget these names. Okay. So next one, Howard H. Aiken. After all these things, Howard H. Aiken invented a machine called automatic sequence control calculator, ASCC, automatic sequence control calculator, and this is that one. It is very huge. Okay. So he made it with his companions, that means with his friends and the IBM company. Joining with them, he made this machine, and he named this machine as Mark 1, right? Okay. Okay. So normally these are operated by hand, not automated. Okay. They were operated by hand or operated manually. So all the various of early computers above were operated manually, as I said you now. From the time when the computers became automated, they were categorized into various generations. After that, okay, after the earlier computers, they categorized the computers into generations. So now we'll go to the generations. So what are the generation, or how many generations are there of the computer? There are 5 generations. You should know that. So how many generations were there, or are there? How many computer generations are there? 5 generation. First generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation, and fifth generation. So we'll see all these 5 generations one by one. So why they categorize these computer into generations, or why there are generations of computer? Because I said to you, when someone invents something, okay, when someone invents something, or when a company invents a machine, the first, they are not making only one machine and using it all the days, right? Or all the years. Always they are not using the same machine. They make some changes, they add some features, right? So why these features are coming, why this technology is improving or developing, what is the reason why it is changing, what is the reason of this change? Now, when the washing machine was invented at the first time, it is not the same now, right? It has been changed a lot with the features. So, when they made the first washing machine and people started to buy these washing machines and work with them, they faced some problems with that, right? For an example, first they could wash clothes only, wash only. Then uh, they faced like some problems, like issues, like if we can dry the clothes, it would be good, right? Someone thinks like that. So after this issue, it is an issue, it is a problem, right? To solve this problem, they they invent another machine with new features, right? That's why the technology is developing day by day. Likewise, when they invented the first generation computers, they faced some problems in that. Okay, to cover up these problems, or to cover up these issues, they made another new technology, and they took it in the second generation. In second generation also, they have faced some problems. They had some issues. So they moved and they made new technologies and went to the third generation. Likewise, fifth generation are there in computers. So we'll see one by one what are the issues, or what are the technologies came in these computer generations, right? Okay. In the first generation, uh, the main technology, okay, the very main technology was the vacuum tubes. You should remember that first generation means vacuum tube, because answers are like that, questions are like that in your papers, right? So in first generation, they invented the vacuum tubes in 1940. Until 1956 they used it, right? So some students are asking me regarding these years. Uh, if you search in the internet, the year might change, but not a long period. Okay, for an example, they say sometimes 1941 or 45 or 1939. So it can change a little bit, right? Not a big period, a little bit it can change. So from 1940 till 1956, they use these vacuum tubes. But when using these vacuum tubes, there are some features or there are some characteristics of the computers which use these vacuum tubes. One characteristic is these computers which uses these vacuum tubes gets heated, or it produce much heat. It produce much heat. So the person cannot stand for a long time with the computer and work. Sometimes if it get overheated, it can be blast. It can blast. Okay. And the size of the computer was as the size of a room. So imagine you having a room and it is the size of a room. I will show you. And it is not portable, probably not portable. You can't take a computer from a place into another place because the size was very, very, very big. When it process something, see, if you have seen this cartoon, when these kinds of computers, or when the computers, or the computers which use these vacuum tubes, when they generate things, when they process things, it takes much time to be processed. And also it process only one data at a time, one data at a time. So imagine how much time it will take to be processed. And the electricity is very high using these vacuum tubes. So vacuum tubes were the main, what do you call, it was the main technology of first generation. It is like the processor. Okay, before coming all these processor, the first one is the vacuum tube. Okay, right. So this is which is in your book, generation, the first generation. And the technology, they used vacuum tubes for outputting the data in information. They used punch card. Software used machine language, assembly language, and stored program concept. The machine language, assembly language, probably we are going to learn about these in detail in other chapters. Okay, so the much needed thing is for your exam is the generation and the main technology, the vacuum tube main technology, and the characteristic. So they will ask about the characteristic of the first generation or the characteristic of the vacuum tube. So the characteristics of the computers which use the technology vacuum tube, they generates heat, processing is very, very slow, size very, very big, not portable, high electricity consumption, very expensive. Okay, I will show you a computer. So these computers name are here: ENIAC, ENIAC, EDVAC, EDSAC, UNIVAC, IBM 71. So I will show you some computers in the internet. So see here, these are the kinds of the computers. So just imagine, very big, right? Large, like a room. So just you imagine, will you, how they use this computer? In those days, there were no ACs and all these things, right? So when it produces much heat, the human being can't bear this heatness. And as I said you, sometimes these vacuum tubes get blast, right? So many issues might be there. So considering all these issues, considering all about these issues, they came out with the second generation with a new technology. So the second generation new technology was the transistors. Second generation transistors invented on 1956 until 1963. They used these computers with the transistor technology. So I think you have seen these transistors. Okay. So still uh, size was the size were big, okay, but smaller than first generation. It became a little bit smaller than the first generation. When comparing with the first generation, it became a little bit smaller, and still it reduces much heat, but less than the first generation. Processing power became a bit faster than the first generation, and the electricity consumption is also less than first generation, but still these were there. And the computers cannot be portable or cannot be replaced. From a replaced mean you can't take from a place to another place because the size were big. And these are the thing. So they used floppy disk in second generation. Do you know for floppy disk? Have you seen floppy disk? I don't think so, because floppy disk are not in use nowadays. But if you have seen it at home or something, the floppy disk. So transistors are the main technology. They use tape and floppy disk to get the output of the processed information, processed data. And the software used high level language, right? We will learn about the high level languages and assembly languages. The characteristics were generates less heat, processing faster, size small. These are comparison of the first generation, okay? Not portable, low electricity consumption. So someone, have you ever seen a floppy disk? No, right? Okay. I will show you the second generation computer size, okay? Honeywell 400. We'll see the Honeywell 400. Okay. So, yeah, exactly. Comparing with the first generation, it became a little bit smaller, right? See, a little bit smaller. So, can you see? You see here, there are some rounds, and here rounds. Can you see? These are tapes. These are tapes. If you haven't seen tapes, I will show you also tapes. Not this tape, okay? It is computer tape. See, like this. These are tapes, but they used this kind of tapes in computers. Yes, like this, just like this. So these are tapes. Now they are not in use, okay, because now we are using clouds, okay. If you don't know about the clouds also, we will learn about the clouds. So they are using the cloud computing to store data. These are to store data and information, right? The tapes and the floppy disks. So now we are using clouds, CDs, flash drives, okay, DVDs. So we use these things. Before DVDs, CDs, and this flash drive, they used tapes as storage devices and also floppy disk. I will show you floppy disk. So this is the floppy disk. Now understood? Maybe you have seen floppy disk, but you don't know that that is a floppy disk. So with these characteristics, they found some of these characteristics are not suitable. Like the processing is, yeah, faster, but faster than the first generation. So they wanted to make it more faster. They want to make the heat generation lesser than the second generation. They wanted the computer to consume less electricity. So for these reasons, they came out with the third generation. So here they used the integrated circuit or IC. We call them as integrated circuit or ICs. So actually, integrated circuits are a collection, or integrated circuit is a collection of transistors. You've seen the transistors, right? There are some like these things, there are something like this. So it is a collection of transistors, integrated circuit. So it was invented in 1964 till 1975. They used it, and yes, actually, the processing power was higher than the second generation. So when you are comparing the generation, compare it with the previous generation. Okay, so processing power is higher than the first generation. Expensive, okay, they are expensive, and electricity generation were lesser than the first generation, and also heat consumption also lesser than the first generation, right? Okay, so you know now the main technology was integrated circuit. That is the main technology. High capacity disk for secondary storage, they used disks. Keyboard and mouse, they used in third generation. So the birth of keyboard and mouse became in third generation, and the birth of OS mean operating system. Until that, there were no operating systems. Okay, so your grade, this in this book we will learn about operating systems in chapter 5. Okay, when we learn about the operating system, you will get more information about the operating system. Do you know the operating system? Operating systems: Windows operating system, uh, Apple operating system, Android operating system, yes, Windows, Mac operating system. These are operating systems. So operating systems are very, very essential for a computer. Okay, without an operating system, the computer won't work. So we will learn it. We will learn about the operating system later. So just Raspberry. So just a small information about the operating system. So the birth of operating system was in third generation. Well developed programs, high level computer programming for coding. And I told you we will learn about the programming languages also, the high level, low level languages, all these things. So characteristics: generates less heat, processing faster, size small, not portable, still not portable. Also in third generation, it is not portable. Low electricity, very expensive. So the third generation computers were very expensive. So in those days, in third generation computer, means like 1964 to 1975, when someone wants to buy a computer, it means he should be very rich. Okay, so the people who work in the offices and the people who are working in the high level positions, they use these computers right on those days. So the computers were very expensive. So I will show you third generation computers like PDP-8. So these are uh, okay. Also they use the tape for the, what do you call, to store data and information. So this is a computer, a type of computer, right? Also this, see, they use keyboards, they use keyboard and mouse in third generation. So these are computers invented in third generation. So when comparing with other generations, the size became smaller, right? So first of all, first computers were very big, the size of a room. Then it became a little bit smaller. Now it became smaller, but still not portable. You can't move here and there, right? So considering some of the issues, they moved to fourth generation computer. So fourth generation computers, they used it until from 1975 until 1989. Not that much a big period, right? So this is the microprocessors or the processors. Fourth generation, the processor, birth of the processor came in fourth generation. You know the processor, right? Everyone knows the processor. I uh, I taught you about the processor. So this is the processor. Without the processor, nowadays the computers won't work. And I told you this processor also called as the brain of the computer, okay, or the microprocessor or the CPU, okay, central processing unit. All these names are belonging to this small biscuit piece. Okay, so this is, as I told you, it is a size of a Munch chocolate biscuit, you know, the size of that, not very big, and it is located on the motherboard in the system unit, right? Yes, very very fast, as Sonic. You know Sonic, right? When we input a data, it it process it very fast and gives it to us, right? And the size of the computers became smaller, very smaller, and also portable. So the portable computers birth were on fourth generation, right? And then very easy to operate also. We can operate it very easily. But third generation computers are very hard to operate. And you know, the birth of operating systems came in third generation. There were an operating system called DOS. Okay, in the DOS operating system, we can't, there are no user interface. Now you can see something, right, in your what do you call this interface, or in your screen. You can see the desktop, there are icons, there are files, there are folders. But in third generation computers, only a black color screen with white color letters or yellow color letters or green color letters. So if you want something to be done using the computer, for an example, if you want to print something using the computer, you should code it. You should write the command. You should give the command. You should give the instruction to that computer. So just think, will you? If you want to buy a computer, you should first learn the instructions of the computer. You should learn these codings of the computer. So it is very hard, right? So that's why they call in fourth generation computers, they were very easy to operate. Now, is it hard to operate these computers? No. If you know the basic things, or if you know how to click the mouse, how to open the things, it is very easy, right? If you want, if you want even to write a letter, you should write the letter and then you should give the command in third generation computers. You should give the command as print or something like that. There are some codings. I don't know, but I can show you when we learn about the operating system, right? Okay. So fourth generation computers use the modern computers, the computers which we use nowadays. These are the fourth generation computers. And the main technology. The main technology was the processor, and large scale integrated circuit and VLSIC also were used. I will tell you about this later. Palm tops computers were invented in fourth generation. High capacity hard disk, floppy disk, and optical disk were used in fourth generation. PCs also were in fourth generation, the personal computers, and faster computer networks were also invented in fourth generation computers. So after that, they used operating system with GUI. GUI mean graphical user interface. So graphical user interface means these colorful interface, not the interface which I told you, like with the black color screen in red, in white color letters and red color letters or green color letters, not those. GUI mean graphical user interface, right? And Unix operating system also were in fourth generation computer. So very small in size, palm top computers mean you can use it with the palm. Have you seen palm top computers? So these are palm top computers. See, like small calculators. Okay. So these were palm top computers. See, very old. Okay. So these computers were used in fourth generation. Very small, but you can carry it from carry it anywhere you go, like smartphones nowadays, right? Okay. Right. And IBM PC, Apple II are some of the computers used in fourth generation. I will show you if you want. Apple II. So this is still, these are PC computers, like desktop computers. Okay. See. Okay. Fine. Mm. After that, they invented something newer, and they included it, or they categorized it in fifth generation, the AI technology or artificial intelligence technology. So what is an artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence means robots. The robots, they are artificial intelligent. Why they are called as artificial intelligent? Because they do all the work if instructed only. If they are instructed only, they will do the work. They can't think by themselves as the human being and work, isn't it? So we should program the robots. They are artificially intelligent, but we are naturally intelligent. We know. Okay, we know the good and bad. We can differentiate the good and bad. We know that means we know we are intelligent, we are naturally intelligent, but robots are artificially intelligent. Artificial intelligence means we give them instruction, then they work according to the given instruction. So they were very efficient, they are very efficient on, okay, because all the computers which we are using nowadays are the fifth generation computers. And you see, 1989 till present, and it goes on, right? So they are very efficient, their work are very efficient, very small in size. It became very, very small now, like a smartwatch, very small, right? um Expensive? No, cost is lower, more than that means comparing with other generations, the cost is less, easy to operate, and very, 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 very fast, faster than Sonic. Okay, you know this. Who is this? Flash, right? So within seconds, milliseconds, they work. When we give them uh, the data, they process it very fast, right? So I told you the robots are the artificial intelligent. So the not only the robots actually, okay, if you take the smartphones, okay, the smartphones, these artificial intelligence can be anything, okay, any kind of artificial intelligence. I will tell you how. uh, okay, so let's go to your book a little bit. Windows operating system, there is a voice recognition, or there is an artificial intelligence. Its name is Cortana. If you say, the first of all, your computer should be on, okay, If you want, I can try. When does summer begin?
Summer begins on Sunday, June 20th, 2021 and ends on Wednesday, September 22nd, 2021.
Sing a song.
I'm not a very good singer, but I can check your schedule if you ask me.
Okay. Who is the president? Who is the president of Sri Lanka?
The current president of Sri Lanka is Gotabaya Rajapaksa.
So see, this is how it works. So this is an artificial intelligence, right? Likewise, there are some artificial intelligence in smart devices also. As I said you, in a Samsung phone, there is an artificial intelligence, and this is a kind of artificial intelligence. So this artificial intelligence is connected to the internet. Okay, it is not a big magic, right? Now some people thinks, oh, how she knows that the president of Sri Lanka is Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Some people are thinking like that. So it is not a big magic actually. What is there is they have programmed a program or programmed a small software and connected to the internet. Okay, so I should connect to the internet to talk with Cortana, or I should connect to the what do you call my phone to the internet, then only Siri will talk with me. If not, Siri won't talk with me. Okay, so if you have these phones, just try and see whether they work or not, right? So this is artificial intelligence which recognize the voice. We call it as voice recognition. This is a software. See, voice recognition based on AI. So these are voice recognitions based on AI. Also, there are some softwares which recognize the handwriting recognition systems. That means you have seen some phones which we use a light pen or pen, something like that, and write on the screen, right? So when we write on the screen, it recognizes my letters. When I write A, it recognizes the A. So it understands the A. Okay, these are handwriting recognitions. Okay, fine. And also, okay, that's it. Okay, so you know, workstations, Pentium PCs, and notebooks, these are the computers which are used nowadays in the modern technology. And thank you for joining the class. Until we will meet again at the next class, see you everyone. Good night and have a nice day.